What's up guys, Janet here, aka Gameonysus, and you are listening to Gameonysus Daily, your one-stop shop for video game news. It is Sunday, May 21st. Hopefully you guys are having a restful Sunday morning, maybe doing some errands, getting prepared for the work week, maybe finishing up some tournaments in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe happening online. There's usually a couple things happening on the weekend for that, so hopefully you're getting that wrapped up. And we're just going to jump straight into it. So first up, the Amazon Video app update now enables 4K UHD on your Xbox One S. So if you have an Xbox One S, you can now check out Amazon's videos in 4K finally. So other streaming services have already had this utilized for the One S, so like Netflix, Hulu, apparently something called Vudu, spelled V-U-D-U. Not familiar with that one. They already had their stuff offered in 4K, but Amazon finally is offering that as well. Amazon Video has a couple of well-known exclusive pieces of content. So Man in the High Castle is one of the ones that stands out as something you'd know as an Amazon original. So yeah, Xbox One S that came out earlier this year, last summer. And it already had a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray as well as streaming content in 4K, and of course HDR compatibility with a lot of games such as the latest Final Fantasy, the latest Gears of War, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, are among some of the more notable ones that have allowed for that. Just a quick comment on the Xbox One S. I really want this system. I'm waiting on Scorpio to come out to decide what my next Xbox console is. And honestly, it's kind of lower on my priority list. Like I want, a new TV for my room. I want, a Pro controller for the Switch, like my own Pro controller for the Switch. I have a shared one right now. So there's a couple other things I want to take care of before thinking of, doing extensions on my Xbox One family. And I'm highly considering Scorpio just to put it on because I do have a 4K TV in my living room and I would really want to soup all that up. So we'll see how Scorpio looks and how much it costs. But if Scorpio doesn't pan out, I think I'm definitely going to get that One S. Funny thing about the Xbox One S or just kind of console, family members in general, I feel like I never really remember what they exactly look like because usually I don't see them up close. I'll see that like on the, presentation they have on the system. I'll see like ads for it and I have like an understanding of what it looks like and that's smaller and sleeker. But then to actually like be up close to one and like see the size difference, it's crazy. The Xbox One S is so sleek and the Xbox One is just like this, this black box, this soulless black box. So I really want the One S. But hopefully Scorpio has a good design and a decent price point. And then maybe I can decide to go on for that. But good to see that more updates and things coming to the One S, kind of making that system even more worth its value. So, I mean, it already is in that nice white design. It's, slimmer, sleeker, but now it also has some additional 4K support, which is awesome. Great for the One S. All right, so next up we have some esports news. So FIFA Ultimate Team Championship went down. Let me get the location on that really quick to remember. It's the Berlin one. So Berlin FIFA Ultimate Team Championship for FIFA 17. That went down recently. I was reading up about this from a piece that was posted on Kotaku's Compete division. So Kotaku, as I mentioned earlier in episodes of this show, like Kotaku recently brought on some writers to specifically focus on esports, and they're just really doubling down on their esports content, which is really cool. So Eric Van Allen from Kotaku wrote a piece about this championship. So most of the stuff I got, pretty much all the stuff I got was from that. So this is me kind of just, quoting / kind of summarizing some key points on that. But if you're interested, definitely check it out because he really breaks down like in depth how the game went and, similar to how you would cover a soccer game in general, like where the turns happened, who did what play, how things were looking, with video clips as well. So This once again took place in Berlin, so it was during 2 days of play during the grand finals, the FIFA Ultimate Team Championship, and at the very end, it was between two players named Chevre Corentin, who goes by Vitality underscore Rocky, and Sean Springett, who goes by X Shell ZZ. X Shell ZZ. All right. So it was between these two players, Vitality Rocky and X Shell ZZ. And the way these work is that you'll have like kind of, this is my understanding of it at least, there's like two divisions in a sense. There's like two groupings. So there's like your Xbox One grouping for FIFA and your PlayStation 4 grouping. And then like the highest person on each system will face the other person on the other system. So PS4 will face off against Xbox One. And I know you're thinking, how is, okay, so then what do they do for that? They play two matches. They play one match on Xbox One and one match on PS4. That way, each player has kind of their home turf, their home console advantage at one point, and has to play on their away console to try to make it even. And then what they do is they take the aggregate score of those games, and then that's the winner. So aggregate, that just means that it's just both of them combined, and in the case of a tie, that wasn't the case in here, but if a tie were to happen in terms of aggregate goals, the player with more away goals would win. So if it was they each had 5 goals, but somebody scored 3 goals on the away and 2 goals at home, the person with the more away goals, that person would be the winner if it was a tie. So that's how that works. So it's a little bit different than how soccer deals with aggregate goals, but it's fairly similar. So this is going down once again, match between Corentin, who is an Xbox player, and Springett, who is a PS4 player. And it actually came down to the very last second. So this was decided on a 90th minute set piece, aka 90-minute cheese. So if you're not familiar with soccer, 90-minute cheese is what we call it when it's either at the very end of the game, because a soccer game is 90 minutes, or it's in extra time. So just a quick refresher, if you're not familiar with soccer, you have the 90 minutes of the game, and then you have extra time, or injury time, goes by a couple terms, and it's just a few extra minutes. The ref decides how long it is, and it's based usually on injuries, how many maybe even if you're switching players out, things like that. Basically it's a way to account for the fact that not the full 90 minutes, the full 90 minutes is never played, in the sense that there's always a little bit of dead time or things like that. And it's also just kind of played by ear. It'll be kind of decided based on, how much you think the added time will affect the game. So if it's a blowout game, there might not be a whole lot of extra time added, because it's okay, well, whatever, let's just end the game. Similarly, when the things, a play doesn't necessarily end at the 45 immediately. The ref might let one more play go through or something, or sometimes they don't. It's kind of just played by ear. It's the ref's decision. So 90-minute cheese would be when you score in that extra time window, where it's literally there's maybe 3 minutes left and you score, and it's so crazy and it's so salty when it happens to you, but it's also great when you get the 90-minute cheese. So quick refresher too, if you're not familiar with the other content I do, those of you guys listening, I am a huge FIFA fan. I love FIFA. I caught the FIFA bug during FIFA 16. But before I talk a little bit about that and my passion for FIFA and why I was so excited to be able to talk to you guys about this story. It came down to 90-minute cheese. Forgot to mention who won. So the winner ended up being Corentin, aka Vitality underscore Rocky, an Xbox One player, came out as victorious. So he won thanks to that 90-minute cheese, which is freaking amazing. Anyway, so congrats to him on that. He walked away with the bulk share of the prize pool, which the prize pool was $400,000. So he got the bulk of that share and is now the FIFA Ultimate Team champion, which is super, super cool. That's the coolest thing you can do. to me in esports because I love FIFA. So, quick thing on my love for FIFA. It started with FIFA 16. It was totally on a whim. I was just like, living my life, and my brother's like, hey, like I'd like to check out, FIFA. And I was like, all right, yeah, I like soccer a good amount. I like Liga MX. I like Mexico's national team. That's who I followed during the World Cup. So I caught the soccer bug a little bit before that. And of course, I'm a fan of the Chicago Fire, because for those of you who don't know or haven't, clicked in my bio to check it out, I am from Chicago, Illinois. So obviously I am a Fire fan. And this was kind of on a whim, and I'm like, oh, well, we'll see if we like this. We've never played a soccer sim before of any capacity. Our background in sports sims, me and my brother are Madden 2003, and like some of the like NBA Street games and NFL Street games, and that's basically it. So yeah, and I played a lot of Madden 03, and I hate Madden because I don't like football and I'm not very good at it. I got decent towards the end of that run, at least compared to my brother, but because I kind of had to. I had to play Madden. I made him play Melee every day, literally. So that was our little trade-off. So we jumped into FIFA 16, and I just loved it. I probably in a way, I have more fun playing FIFA than I do like watching soccer to a certain extent. Like, you're just so involved because like you're literally, like involved in the match itself. And that's like super crazy. It's so tiring, and like it takes so much mentally, and like, oh, it's such a beautiful, beautiful sport. And I think, yeah, I definitely have like, articles and things posted that I can include in the show notes where I talk about my love for FIFA and why I think, people should give it a chance even if they don't like soccer, or why I think it's like one of the better sports sims because it's one of the sports that I kind of like the most. So I really appreciate what they do with it. So I had 16, also got 17. I do like all these FIFA tournaments in my apartment. So like I definitely have a passion for FIFA tournaments. So hearing about the FIFA Ultimate Team tournament was really cool because I do tournaments all the time. And granted, they're like, not at the same level, obviously. They're just tournaments with me and my brother that we make up, and that we have like, the way we do it is whoever wins the most games is the winner of the tournament. We've done like maybe 5 or 7 of them, and I've yet to win any of them fully. I've literally lost by 1 game for like, I think it's happened like in 2 tournaments now, and like I just really, and I did lose once in 90-minute cheese. So like it's funny because I was reading this article that Eric Van Allen had written for Kotaku, the one I'm referencing, and at the top of the article it has like a GIF of that last like the last moments in the game with the 90-minute cheese, and it's just like seeing the celebration and then also seeing the salt on Sean, aka X Shelzy's face after like when the 90-minute cheese happens. It's just like I relate to that so much. Like, I have been both of these people, but I'm usually the one that's salty, and it's just painful. It's just painful to see happen. But that's sports. And unsurprisingly, that's also esports, right? And especially esports when you're doing esports that's a sim of a regular sport. Like, that's just doubling down on those moments to me, which is why, I feel like sports sims are some of the most fun and interesting and great, like, esports games, because it's so, like, well replicates the intensity and, like, the excitement and the camaraderie and the feeling and of what the actual, like, watching a regular soccer game is, especially now with our modern day tech and what we're able to do with it, where it really is getting so close to what, watching that is like the same as watching like an actual game, which is crazy, in a lot of ways. All right, so that's my little tangent on my love of FIFA. So I'm super excited about that. I'm definitely going to watch. I didn't watch the full tournament, or the last game even, yet. I've just like kind of read about it, so I'm really excited to watch and check that out, and see it go down for myself. So if you guys are interested in that at all, I definitely encourage checking it out. It's crazy exciting. So, and if you haven't watched any esports stuff ever, like, definitely just dip in and like watch some stuff. Maybe not a FIFA, maybe just of another game you like, because like, it's one thing I love about esports is that, like, you'll play this game and then you see someone who's like professional and like at that higher level, and you're like, oh my God, like, I didn't even know the game could be played like this. Like, when I watch like professional Smash people, I'm like, they're like just at another stratosphere that I'm just not at. I'm like, this is not what it looks like when I play at all. It's really cool. It's really impressive, and it, gives you like some different insights into the game itself. So definitely recommend checking that out. All right, moving forward, we have some stuff in terms of Switch. I'm going to frame it in terms of the Switch. So Rime, the game Rime, which is coming out on May 26th, third-person adventure slash puzzler game. That's the kind of its genre. It recently received a 9 in Edge magazine. So it's, seems fine, seems decent. That bodes well for how the game will actually be. And if you're not familiar, once again, Rime, it's developed by Tequila Works, and it is a third-person adventure slash puzzler. Has a very kind of dreamy art style, cartoony. It kind of reminds me of the art of what is the name of The Last Guardian. It kind of has that type of art look to it, that kind of aesthetic. So it's coming out May 26th for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, and we know it's coming out for the Switch shortly afterward. So this is something I've already mentioned on the show a few times, but this is, I'm not feeling this trend of what's happening with the Switch in terms of a lot of its games. So especially, in terms of I guess, I don't know if we'd really want to call this third party. I guess you kind of have to. So with these other games that, are not just the homebrew Nintendo ones, it's late. It's coming late. Everything is late. We've heard of timed exclusives, but this is timed unexclusive or inexclusive or something else. But it's just everything's late, and I don't know why. I'm really hoping once again that this is just because it's early, and we have to kind of port everything over and try to catch up with this new technology and adapt our games to this different thing. Because I get it, PS4, Xbox One, and obviously PC. They've been around way longer than the Switch, so I can understand and why this might happen. These kind of delayed releases for the Switch, but at the same time, it's just, I don't know. It's just it's frustrating as a Switch owner, and it's also it makes me nervous for the future of the Switch in terms of games and how it gets supported with games. Is everything going to be late? That's my question. Are all these things going to be late? And if they are late, are you willing to wait to play them because you'll be able to play them on Switch? Is something, obviously it's a question I specifically am posing to Switch owners. But it can apply to other consoles as well. Just in general, would you wait for a game if it meant playing on your preferred console? And what kind of determines that? I'll reframe that at the end for our end question. But yeah, that's frustrating. Another frustrating thing, but I already knew this. Just a reminder though, Rime costs $29.99. You can get it physical or digital. But for the Switch, it's $39.99 because it's, the cartridge or, whatever costs extra to make. So it's we're paying $10 more and we're getting it late. $10 to be late, it's, very frustrating. So, sorry if that was extremely loud in people's ears if they're listening. But, that's kind of all I have to say on that. Will I get Rime? Probably. There seems to be a trend with me where I just basically get whatever's on the Switch at this point. I'm just buying all these games. I'm just really excited, guys, because this is the first time I think in my whole life that I've been there since the launch of a console, an actual straight up first time console. I was there for the launch of the new Nintendo 3DS XL, but that doesn't, that was just another family member to the 3DS family. That wasn't a new machine. This is a whole new gen for Nintendo. And I was there day one. I got my Switch day one. I had my pre-order, and I started playing it then, and I haven't really stopped playing it since I got it. So I'm also just really excited to be there from the ground up. So I'm kind of just buying everything, especially because there's not a lot out right now. So I'm I'll get that. I'll buy that too. I'll take that as well. So I can see myself getting Rime, and probably just later down the line, especially because, I know we do have Splatoon coming out shortly. and that'll definitely take up a lot of my time, and I still haven't finished Zelda. So yeah, but Realm looks interesting. Why is it not going to be out on Switch on May 26th? And when will we know when it will be out? That's the other thing. Nintendo just doesn't say anything ever. Like, if you hear nothing from Nintendo, that means, like, don't hold your breath, I feel like. Like, when's Yooka-Laylee coming out for the Switch? We still don't know. Yeah, so it's just, it's frustrating as a Switch owner. Like, I have games to keep me preoccupied, but it sucks that, like, everyone else gets to play the game, and I don't even have the option. And I have to pay $10 more to get the option. So, just kind of an unfortunate trend going on right now, and hopefully it ends soon. All right, and on our last note, this is kind of an in case you missed it type thing that I'm going to run through, because this news dropped before I even started the show, so I'm just going to go over it, and then we will close things out. Weekends seem to be pretty slow for news because, it's the weekend. People don't post their big stories then. If you want a story to disappear, put it out at 5 p.m., 6 p.m. on a Friday. That's, the old saying, and it definitely rings true. So I'll be thinking of, ways to expand, things to add into the show to accommodate for the fact that happens. So something I just want to bring your attention to in case you missed it or kind of just didn't feel like paying attention to it, because that was definitely me when I heard this news. Sonic Force's character creator, that's going to be a thing. So yeah. Sonic 3D Sonic just doesn't, once again, I think I mentioned this on the show as well, like some things just need to be done. Like I'd rather a franchise just ends with dignity than just keeps crawling along, and that's very much Sonic the Hedgehog. So, Sonic Mini I think is going to do great, which is, Sonic's new, quote-unquote new, sort of new, not really new, a little new, 2D game, and it's going to be just old school classic Sonic, and there's going to be, some old levels, and, like, old levels reimagined, and, like, additional levels, so it should just be a fun time, doing, Sonic-type platforming, which is distinctly different than any other type of platformer, which is really cool. Makes Sonic different, makes it interesting, makes it something that, like, you need to experience and that you can only experience through a Sonic game, which is kind of what you want out of your IPs. 3D Sonic, of course, is just a little weird. And I can't say I've played a whole lot of 3D Sonic. I know I did play it at times as a kid, but I don't really remember it. Wasn't a big fan. I know most of my Sonic information from watching Some Call Me Johnny videos, honestly. And just even based on that, like, it's like something's always not that good. Like, it's not that good. These games are not good. So Sonic Forces looks like more of the same in terms of that. I mean, I'm just not a fan of, like, with 3D Sonic, the thing that I don't really like usually is, like, the perspective of it. Like, something about the perspective of it, like, now that it's in 3D, like, it's in third person, it just, like, when he goes really quickly, it's just too much. Like, I don't know. I just don't really like how it looks or how it feels. Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't translate well for me, so I just have never really messed with it. And I think, it hasn't really been very successful in its attempts to be in 3D in general. I think even fans will admit that. Sonic Forces, the interesting thing about that is it has a character creator option where you can craft like your own, like persona, basically, like your furry persona. And you get different animal types to choose from, like wolf, rabbit, cat, dog, bear, bird, hedgehog. And they all have, like, different abilities attached to their animal types. So, like, if you're a hedgehog, you get to collect rings when getting damaged. If you're, like, a wolf, you automatically draw rings that are near from you. If you're a bear, you can blow away enemies with a homing attack. There's a couple other abilities attached to these other different animal types. And then you can also, like, do other customizations as well. Like, similar to any avatar creator, there's going to be, like, the, you can add, like, glasses or, like, change your color. So it has those components in it as well. Which is also just kind of weird. Like, I was watching, like, the trailer for it, and it just feels weird watching a, like, a bipedal animal creature, like, do Sonic things, but have it not be, Sonic or Tails or Knuckles, or Amy, I think is her name, the girl one. Yeah, it's just weird. Though I mean, it's more weird than cool. Like, it's kind of cool, but it's mainly weird. Yeah, it's mainly weird. It just feels like it'd be like making any. It's almost like, yeah, you're just adding in your own character. You're just literally adding in your own character, but it feels weird when it's a franchise that already has like characters in it. I feel like character customization is more for like when a game is more built around story and mechanics, and also when the narrative lends itself to this could be anyone type thing. So like, you know, in Fallout you have like character creation. In Sunset Overdrive you have character creation. But like this is like an already existing franchise that also doesn't lend itself to you being someone that isn't Sonic. Like it doesn't make any sense for like another. It's like, oh, another hero randomly rises up and you like get to make that hero. Like that's kind of weird. But Sonic's always trying to find ways, like as a franchise, to reinvent itself and make it different and change things up. And few of which have been of success. So I think this is going to be another of those stories we'll be telling in terms of Sonic. Like, remember when you could do this thing? Like that was weird. And then, you know, yeah, but people keep still buying the games because I think people buy Sonic games still, even when they're not that good, because they remember what Sonic was, what it used to be, what it represented. And, you know, there are redeeming qualities to the games, I think. I think any game probably has some redeeming qualities. So people just kind of go through it for the love, you know, like do it for the culture type thing with Sonic. And, you know, I don't think this is going to be any different. It'll be interesting to see how it sells, how it reviews, how fans respond to it. I think for the most part, people, I think, have been responding decently to the character creator. I think they're excited for, like, you know, it being something different and personal and, like, lending itself well to, like, the internet and, like, you know, doing jokey things with that. So I think, you know, even the way it was framed on, like, the Kotaku story where I, like, read about it, which is written by Heather Alexandra, was Sonic Force's character creator will bring your fanfic to life, right? So it's kind of adding, like, it's very personalized, very modern, very, like, lending itself well to the internet, I think, which is probably what they were going for. You know, it's not a bad decision on their part necessarily. It's just kind of weird, but Sonic's been weird for forever, so it's like, this is just another story in the line of stories we have on Sonic being on some other stuff, basically. All right, so thanks for listening to this, guys. So I want to leave you guys with a question, and my question is kind of just going to reiterate what I said earlier. Are you willing to wait for a game if it means that you get to play it on your preferred platform? What kind of things do you consider when making a decision like that? So once again, the example I give directly is with the Switch. We're waiting on a lot of games to get ported over or to get released in addition to its other consoles to the Switch as well. So Rhyme is an example. Ukulele is an example. And for me, I am waiting for those games because I want to play them on the Switch. So I'm just going to wait until they're available on the Switch. But, you know, what other games is that the case for? Before the Switch, my default console was Xbox One. And I think I would maybe wait to play a game for Xbox One if it like meant I could play it on the Xbox One if it was a PS4 exclusive. Though honestly, no, I don't think I would because I've been looking for reasons to use my PS4, so I might just jump the gun on that. For me, you know, like what are your deciding factors for it? What are things you consider? What are examples of games where this happened for you? Will you rebuy a game to play it on a different console? You know, has that ever been the case for you? Is that something that's been happening? I did that with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I rebought that even though I had it for Wii U. So I wanted to experience it again on the Switch with everyone else. So once again, the question is, in what context and what determines your willingness to wait for a game if it means playing it on your preferred console? Will you rebuy a game when it comes out again on your preferred console? And what are the deciding factors on what game you buy for what system, especially if you have all of the systems? Like, how do you decide what console you're maining? And are you willing to wait for a game to play it on your main/favorite console? All right, so thanks for checking this out, guys. Give this give this audio a like. Share it on social media. Let me know what stories you guys came across that I didn't cover in this. Let me know what your reactions are to these stories. any comments, questions, concerns, things you want to see added on the show, anything like that, definitely let me know. You can talk to me on the internet. I am on Instagram and Twitter under the handle Gameonysus. That's Gameonysus, GameOnysus. So you guys can hit me up on Twitter with comments, questions, feedback, reactions, answers to the question I posed. What determines your willingness to wait for a game to come out or to play a game if it means playing on your preferred console. Thanks for listening, and I will get back to you guys tomorrow. Bye.